Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Fabulous Concert Programs number 144. I call this program Mirror Images. And lest you worry, the George Lloyd Symphony Cycle is continuing. That'll be the next video. We'll get back to it. But this just came to me. You know, sometimes I'm just sort of relaxing on the train coming back from work or doing something, and concert programs pop into my head. Don't ask me why, they just do. And this is one that I really enjoyed listening to. Boy, it was fun, because I had it all on my eye thing, and as soon as it popped into my head, I said, this is going to be my going home listening, and it worked fabulously well. Oh my goodness. I put together two composers who wrote a certain amount of concert music, but who were really composers for the theater. Both of them died young, and they're quite popular, but their concert works aren't as well known as their theatrical works, and you put them together, and let me just explain it, okay? So the first half of the program, the composers, well, who are the composers? Kurt Weill, yes, and Georges Bizet. So they're about 100 years apart from each other in various, I guess that's about right. Not quite 100 years, because first half of the 20th century, second half of the 19th, so okay. But they're generations apart, stylistically quite different, but, you'll see. First half of the program, 4 works. We begin with Kurt Weill's Quodlibet. Now, a Quodlibet, some of you may know, because the last of the Goldberg variations is a Quodlibet. A Quodlibet simply is a collection of popular tunes, but you can use it to mean an assemblage of pre-existing melodies or themes from various other sources, which is how Weill means it here, because the Quodlibet is actually the suite from his children's pantomime Zaubernacht. Now, this itself has a fascinating history, because the original score of it was only discovered in 2005, sitting in a safe at Yale University. Kind of fascinating, because it was premiered in 1923-ish or somewhere around there, when he was only about 21, 22 when he wrote it. Then it was performed in New York. So there was a set of parts in New York. It disappeared when Weill left Europe, fleeing the Nazis. So it was written for 9 instruments, a little chamber ensemble, string quintet with winds and percussion. However, Weill also arranged an orchestral suite, which he called the Quodlibet, and it's a big multi-movement work. I mean, it's 20-some-odd minutes long, a juicy, delicious orchestral work, which is virtually unknown. It's heterogeneous in style. It's an early work, but lots of fun. And it makes a great opening, because it's a children's pantomime. It's a story about, a little girl whose toys come alive and stuff happens. It's kind of like Ravel's L'Enfant et les Sortilèges, to a text by Colette. So it's a children's piece, and it's delightful. And after that, we have Bizet's Symphony in C. Now, the interesting thing about the Symphony in C is that although it was written in like the 1850s, nobody knew about it until like the 1920s, because it was discovered and premiered by Felix Weingartner quite a bit later, which is really interesting. But it's a neoclassical gem. Everybody loves it. The tunes are gorgeous. It's just fantastic. So that's the first half. Then we have intermission. And after we have our cough drops and go to the bathroom or whatever we do, we come back and we flip around these two composers. Instead of Weill and Bizet, we have Bizet and Weill. The Bizet is Jeux d'enfants, children's games. It's his own piece based on children's, the theme of childhood and children's things. In the suite, it's 5 movements. It's delicious. Now, the actual Jeux d'enfants, he called it a Petite suite, which is from Jeux d'enfants, because it's actually like 12 numbers for piano 4 hands. And the whole thing has been orchestrated between Bizet and other people. And even Bizet did, I think, an extra one that wasn't in the 5-movement suite. So you can assemble it however you really like. But the basic 5-movement suite is what we're talking about. It makes a delicious opening to the second half. It's about 12, 13 minutes long. and beyond charming, but also mature in terms of its harmonic sophistication and its melodic craftsmanship. It's an absolutely enchanting piece that also doesn't get played very often because people don't know where to put these things on orchestral programs. And then after that, we have Kurt Weill's Second Symphony, which is like the Bizet Symphony in C, a neoclassical masterpiece. Weill wrote it in France in around 1933, at the same time as he did the Seven Deadly Sins, when he was in transit, having left Germany and on his way to America, and he stopped in Paris for a while and hung out and did some stuff there. It's a wonderful work, and it has to be performed with the original percussion parts included. It was published without them, because originally Weill didn't have them. But then Bruno Walter, who was also in Paris, was conducting the premiere, and he said to me, you really ought to throw some percussion in here. And Weill said, sure, why not? And he put them in. So they're completely authentic and original to the initial performances of the symphony, but some musicological people decided, well, it's not what he originally wrote, so we're going to leave it out. No, you don't leave it out. You put him in. Anyway, it's a great wrap-up to the concert. It's enormous fun. It's also quite tuneful. Brilliant piece in that somewhat, how to describe it? Kurt Weill had this sort of fidgety allegro style, with this sort of very quick, almost neo-Baroque motoric rhythmic quality, along with wonderful bittersweet melodies. It's just a work of genius. And so we have Weill Bizet and then Bizet Weill on the other side of the intermission. Mirror images. Get it? And if you want, you can do it the other way. You can flip the halves. You can start with Bizet and Kurt Weill second, and then do the Weill pantomime and the Bizet symphony. And so you can do it that way if you think that it will bring in a larger audience, waiting to hear the Bizet at the end. That's a possibility. But this, of course, is for home listening. And so I have arranged it musically in the way that I think makes for the most suitable climax and contrast. So two composers who had much in common, separated by a couple of generations, and the theme of childhood and these neoclassical symphonies. It just works. That's all I can say. I mean, I tried it and it works. It makes a fantastic program for your own home listening, because you'll never see something like this live. Unfortunately, it would be great in real life. I would go see this program in a heartbeat. So give it a shot at home and let me know what you think. I really think you're going to enjoy this one. Keep on listening, friends, and thanks for joining me. Take care.